Now this is a movie I have waited all summer for. In fact, I want to be completely transparent here. I've been waiting for this goddamn movie to be released since I was in high school. Like I was reading about like Wikipedia articles about like how this movie was in development hell since like at least 2007, and I was just waiting patiently. And then 7 years later, in 2014, the movie finally comes out, and it was everything I want in a Sin City movie.
When did the first one come out?
2006, I want to say 2006. It was.
It has been a while.
Yeah, it has. Oh, has it been a while?
You know, it's been long enough that I can't remember everything about the first one. I certainly remember Elijah Woods. I certainly remember...
Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, definitely. I can't always remember.
You remember Mickey Rourke? You certainly remember the Yellow Bastard segment, because that was just that was insane. Just the entire Yellow Bastard story was literal, defined insanity.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess when I came into this movie, I was expecting just grim-jawed, like completely sincere, hokey acting. Like if anyone in this movie knew that what they were saying was really hokey and was really, completely over melodramatic, horrible,
they didn't let it on.
No, because they sold it. Yeah. Every one of these, even Jessica Alba sold it. And Jessica Alba, I will make no bones about it, may be the worst actress working today. Second only to Tara Reid.
I won't disagree with you.
But like from top to bottom, this movie was everything I wanted. It was funny, sometimes unintentionally, or maybe intentionally. I mean, that's the genius with Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Because you don't know like when he's intentionally being funny and when he's not, but it's still funny.
And that's part of it. I think that he would probably say, "Did you laugh hard?" Well, yes. Well, then it must have been intentionally funny.
And that goes to the genius of the actors too, because it puts a kernel of doubt in your head. Yeah. Like maybe was that intentional or was that unintentional?
Yeah, you probably would say, if you laugh, then that's where it was supposed to be funny for you.
And because this movie was such a triumph, I busted out the Chivas Regal tonight. So, how is it?
That's quite good. Not as good as this movie was. But,
I don't know, we were walking outside of the theater and, I don't know, like, when you said that this might be a movie that we disagreed upon.
Yeah,
like, what did you mean by that?
Well, that's going to be a running thing, from now on. I'm going to be forcibly trying to disagree with you just to spite people. No, but really though, it was an excellent movie. I enjoyed every second of it.
Even with, like I said, even with Jessica Alba's on screen, because
even when she was on screen,
and opening her mouth hole to say things that approximate the human language, but isn't quite. Even when
she did a great dance.
Mm-hmm.
Pole dance thing, whatever.
Like her sexy.
Even if I don't find her quite as sexy as the other women in this movie,
it's not hard to watch.
No, it's not hard to watch. That's for sure. But she pulled her weight, I guess. She pulled her weight.
It was perfectly.
There were parts that was a little bit
trying to be more than what she was, and I think that's probably more on her than the movie or the director. I mean, like, when the scene is asking for her to, like, go manic and she's cutting up her face with a mirror shard, and she doesn't really sell the fact that she's cutting herself. She's just kind of... It looks like she's just applying makeup.
Yeah, it does.
And on one hand, part of your brain's like, well, maybe that just speaks to the manic state that she's in.
She's, like, choosing the places she does it. It's not so much of, I'm just...
Yeah, like, on one hand, like, you could argue that the fact that she isn't doing that is more disturbing and more in line with a sociopath, well, not sociopathic, but certainly someone who is psychotic, what they would do in that certain situation. But on the other hand, maybe they only went that way because I don't think she has that range to do it.
Yeah.
I don't think she could convincibly be that manic and be that.
No, she didn't reach a HQ level.
No, she didn't. So I guess Rodriguez just went with the path of least resistance as far as that. And did you notice that when she emerged after she cut up her face, the scars weren't exactly where she put the mirror shard? Like there was
I kind of did notice that. I noticed that they also seemed like they were put very strategically in special, synergy places.
Yeah, it's to make her still pretty.
Yeah, remember even Marvy's like, no, if you don't mind me saying this, you're hot. You look hot. It's like, yeah, actually, she did look pretty hot with her scars. She looked better, I thought.
Yeah, she did. If I can give Jessica,
complimented her.
If I could give Jessica Alba one thing, she does play trashy pretty well.
She does.
Like she dresses down. I think she dresses down even better than oh god, Scarlett Johansson was in Under the Skin. Like even though she looked like you can meet her in a bar, she looked like I almost want to say she looked like what Anne Hathaway should have looked like in Batman in the Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah,
she should have looked...
That I completely agree. I do. I know that's not what I said I was going to do, but I'm going to completely agree again because it's true.
I mean, this is backpedaling so much.
I'm pretty sure that I said that at some point in one of our reviews that I wanted Anne Hathaway to be the dirty kind of Catwoman.
And I think that would have been better.
Shit kickers, leather. And that's what you
something got like something along the lines of what they're going with the Gotham City TV show right now. Like their Catwoman is like big old leather jacket, fluffed out hair.
Oh, they actually have Catwoman in the show.
Yeah.
Is the show out already?
No, not yet.
I didn't think so. Okay.
But they just got promotional stills and such, and the character concept for Catwoman is just like like
gritty.
Yeah.
Dirty, gritty.
Looked like a biker chick.
Yeah. That is cool. I loved, speaking of biker chicks, love the Amazons in this movie, the biker Amazons.
Oh, yeah. Like Rosario Dawson, when she steps back in, she's wearing like this leather-studded gorget, I want to say. It just like covers over her entire head.
Reminds me a lot of a character I'm doing in one of my games that has an entire gang of Amazon biker chicks. It's really awesome. I love that.
Amazon biker chicks. If that does not speak to like how just crazy fun this movie is, then like are you alive? I mean, like everything that is fun and like childish and immature disguised as adult fun is in this movie.
Yeah.
Like Ava Green, we knew that Ava Green was going to be great in this movie because she's just going to basically do what she did for 300 Rise of an Empire. And she does, except she's even more naked in this movie than she was in...
I have to say, that wasn't CG'd at all. She has an amazing body.
Yeah. I'm not sure if... I'm not sure, like, if she was completely nude throughout it, or did it, just do, like, some green screen and put some other porn star's nipples...
Yeah, I don't know if they...
But she's appeared nude before in other movies. And so I'm thinking like she just doesn't have a problem with it.
Well, we'll put in 300 and a few of her other stuff and take a look at her boobs and compare them.
Compare and contrast. I mean, we need
just complete science and
like CSI this shit. We need to get to the bottom.
We'll get to the bottom after the.
We'll get to the bottom after the top.
I saved the best for last, but.
But yeah, like Ava Green, like even the fact like if she wasn't naked in this movie is just amazing in this movie because she's playing the seductress and toying with men to get her away. She's a Black Widow in that she's playing the Black Widow and she is like the linchpin of this performance is the fact that she had to be deliciously evil.
Yes.
And she
she's like Cruella de Villing it up a bit,
And I love the fact that like all the men surrounding her are just like fun. Like Christopher Maloney appears out of nowhere just to like be a cop, questioning Ava Green after.
He was great.
After crap. What's the? All right, I'll get to. I'm trying to remember the character's name or even the actor's name.
The main guy.
Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
Like after Josh Brolin killed her husband, so that way she can inherit his money, and she tries to kill him, but he escapes. He plays. I'm trying to remember the character's name because he used to be played by Clive Owen, and I'm thinking like, okay, why couldn't they have gotten Clive Owen back? And then I remember what in the comics that his character. I'm trying to remember his name. Dwight. Dwight had to have his face reconstructed. And I'm thinking, like, okay, he goes in as Josh Brolin, and according to the chronology of events, he'll emerge looking like Clive Owen. But no, it's just...
I forgot that it was Clive Owen who did him in the first movie.
Yeah, it was. And then I'm thinking, like, no, that...
I like Clive Owen. He was great in The Punisher. Is that the wrong guy?
Yeah, I don't think Clive Owen was in The Punisher. I certainly remember.
Who was the guy in The Punisher then?
That was Thomas Jane.
Thomas Jane. Damn it.
It's like, ugh. You remember Clive Owen in Shoot 'Em Up?
That's what it was. Yeah.
Oh, you gotta love that.
Understandable.
You gotta love that handgun. Holding the bullets up to the fire. You gotta love that. But I was thinking, like, okay, he gets his face all mangled up. He's a wanted man, so he has facial reconstruction surgery, and now he looks like Clive Owen. And then I remember, wait a minute, how the fuck do they explain the fact that in the first movie he has a British accent, and now he has like this gritty American accent? It's like, oh wow, I'm stupid. And they just don't even make an attempt to explain it. In fact, if you don't know the chronology of the events of the comics, you would be so confused as to why Mickey Rourke is alive in this movie. Because this is all... Alright. According to the series of events that happened in order, the last thing that happens is the Clive Owen story with Dwight. Dwight's Clive Owen story in the first movie. That's technically the last thing that happens, even though that's the middle story. And all of this happens before Marv's story in the first movie. And I believe technically the first thing that happens is the Bruce Willis story with is Hartigan. That's the first thing that happens. And because Bruce Willis is dead throughout this entire movie, so we set up. Now we have the collage. Now we have like this spectrum of when things are supposed to happen. And I guess if you try to spend any energy trying to pin like a single timeline through all this, you're going to bleed out through your nose.
Yeah.
So, go into the movie, I was thinking, okay, there's no way they're going to explain this, or even what I thought they were going to do was segment the stories. I thought they were going to be like, here's the first story, here's the second story, and here's the third story. And instead what they did was that they would kind of like a Matryoshka doll it. They went for the first story, then they went to the second story, then they went to the third story. The third story was the Ava Green Dame to Kill for story. And that was
the third story.
That was the third story.
Which took place as the first story. Or the second. Because it certainly wasn't the last story.
It wasn't the last story, but like the first story was the beginning, whereas Marv just setting the tone. That was one failing of the movie, I think, is that Marv doesn't really have an insular moment in the story. He's just kind of playing the background actor to everyone else's story.
Yeah.
Except for Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And if there was a weak point to this story, it was
say it was Gordon's?
I would say it's Gordon, and that's a little bit, and that's kind of a shame. Joseph Gordon-Levitt basically plays Powers Booth's Rourke, Senator Rourke's bastard son, and he's trying to. I don't know what he was doing exactly. He just wanted to prove that he could beat him at cards, and he does. And turns out that he gets a hooker. Well, not really. Turns out he gets a girl he likes killed. He gets his.
And that girl he likes is the first person in this movie, or the only person who's fully in color. Yeah. And then I kept waiting for some kind of symbolism. Is there some kind of rhyme or reason to the pattern of who has color and who doesn't? But
the way I've
no
Goldie is in color.
And I was like, is this Pleasantville? What are they?
Yeah, they just use color to highlight important things.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't.
They use color to highlight like an important person or an important aspect.
There was no puzzle to it. It was just, we want you to pay attention to this.
Yeah, it's like no rhyme or there's not. Well, there is a rhyme and reason to it, but it's not to any effect other than like this is
important. Look at this.
This stands in stark contrast to, like the surrounding, like the character's surroundings. Like in a bar where everything else is black, white, and gray. Here's one woman that's fully in color, and she is just drenched in bright colors.
Yeah.
But Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays Senator Rourke's bastard son. Eventually, just tries to beat him at cards, does it twice, and winds up being killed for it. But he does it because he wants to prove to Senator Rourke that somebody can't beat him, and the fact that people seen him beat him means that
he has beat him, because he's, even if he is going to get shot, he still beat him.
He still beat him. It's like, what are you gonna, like, you can be beaten. And that kind of, like, on one hand, like, I like that moment, but then in comes Jessica Alba's story as returning as Nancy Callahan, and she winds up killing him. So I don't think he's really suffered the indignity for all that long.
Yeah, right? That's what I was thinking. So, yeah, you proved a great point there. And people always, I guess people are not going to have to talk behind his back because
he's fucking dead.
He's dead.
And I love the fact that Marv now has a hand in killing the two most powerful men in the state. He killed Cardinal Rourke before he was killed, and now he basically paved the way for Nancy Callahan to kill Senator Rourke. You'd think that Marv would have brought that up, like, sometime in the first Sin City. Like, why did it have to be Cardinal Rourke? Even though I technically killed his brother, so it's not impossible to kill Cardinal Rourke.
Why'd it have to be Cardinal Rourke? I hate Cardinal Rourkes.
I hate Rourkes.
I hate Rourkes.
Wait a minute. Isn't my last name Rourke? Oh, I get confused. I gotta take my medicine. I got a condition. He only took his medicine once throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, you're right.
I think
that's because he took all of them. He didn't have any more.
No, but Marv in this movie doesn't, like, his whole deal is he's just kind of like latching onto somebody else's good time.
Yeah.
And he has a good time too. And like anytime he's on screen, like my face is just lit up. And this movie has plays no bones about like playing him up as he's like playing on God mode.
Yeah, he is.
He is like he's punching people. He's like, I think, yeah, he crushed a man's head with his bare hands.
He pulls a guy's eye out. And what is this movie? What's with this movie and eyes? They just kept shooting people in the eyes.
Shooting people in the eyes, pulling eyes out. The lighting always makes sure to highlight a person's eyes.
Yeah.
And you could say that that's, the whole highlighting of the eyes is just very... It's very Frank Miller.
There were at least 3 explicit eye wound scenes in this movie.
Yeah. And I gotta think that poor Ray Liotta. Ray Liotta, is in this movie, and I'm thinking, wow, it's been a long time since I've seen him on screen, at least in the theater. Last time I saw him in a theater, he was getting his brains eaten by Hannibal Lecter. Oh no, I'm sorry, Hannibal Lecter was feeding him his own brains. It's like, wow, that was certainly an undignified scene. And here he is, playing like some limp dick guy who's cheating on his wife with a hooker, and in comes Dwight to stop him from killing her, and he's left handcuffed to a bed frame, and the hooker that he was trying to kill stomps on his nuts. Like, Ray Liotta is just like the king of like I think he may be second only to like Joe Pesci as far as like
just showing up as that character.
No, not showing up as that character, but just getting the crap kicked out of him in movies, or just like suffering like indignity after indignity. Like, he just plays that guy so well. Besides Marv just like, he's like Jax in Mortal Kombat 2, like
squash. Head squash.
He also fights Michael Clark Duncan's character, sad to see him go. Played by I forgot his name, the actor's name, but you know him as the Allstate insurance guy.
Oh, you in good hands.
Or you in good hands.
Wait, was that him?
That was him.
Wow.
Yeah. He was also the
That was him. God, he looked good in this.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was also the guy that Nick Cage fired a missile at in The Rock. He's like, I hate soft shit.
Oh my god. See, I always remember him from 13th Floor.
Not me.
I remember everybody in 13th Floor from 13th Floor, no matter what they do with their careers.
Yeah, I know, because you latched onto that movie like everyone else latched onto The Matrix.
Yeah.
Actually, now that I bring it up, when was the last time you actually watched The Matrix? Like, I actually sat down.
Any of them, or the
first
only one that was good?
The first one.
Feels like a decade.
I know. Like, I watched it again recently. It's amazing how well that movie has held up.
Really?
Yeah, you can watch it again, and it's still really good sci-fi. I mean, like, even if you know every turn, like, even if you, like, are completely jaded because of the last two movies.
Yeah.
Well, let's face it, 2/3 of the franchise.
Yeah.
But the first movie still is. I would dare.
After he takes off at the end, like Superman, there's not much more you can do with it.
Yeah, no.
That's when it starts to become campy, cartoony shit.
Yeah, but give The Matrix a watch. You'd be surprised how how well crafted the movie is, how exciting that movie still is, and even like I said, knowing everything you do know, you're still wrapped up in what's going on. One of the benchmarks of classic sci-fi movies, and movies in general, but especially sci-fi, is if you could watch the exact same movie 15 years later and still be like, yeah, this is still a badass movie. That's why, like, believe me, if Star Wars, as popular as it was, if people return to that movie and say, like, yeah, this wasn't as good as I remembered it being, nobody would give a shit about Star Wars. But it still is a timeless tale, and therefore it kind of stands the test of time. And I think so far The Matrix has. Because it kind of tapped into the spirit of the technological age at the right time.
Yeah.
And then the memory of like the phenomenon that happened back in '99. Was it Yeah, it was '99. Just still kind of is captured in the film, and you're brought back, and all of a sudden you're 10 years old, and you're having your mind blown again. Like, wow, what if we are living in a computer simulation?
Then this simulation sucks.
Yeah, Well, I don't know, like, if you were trying to run a successful computer simulation to keep people trapped in the prison of a mind, wouldn't it make sense to make sure that the prison is as banal and realistic as possible?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
if you happen to be in the right place, you can get a nice steak and talk it over with an agent and come back as a movie star.
I mean, it doesn't...
Or was it a rock star? Someone important. That's what's... Someone important.
Ignorance is bliss. Although one does have to wonder, like, who put him into the Matrix so that he could talk to an agent? Because somebody has to put you into the Matrix and take you out. So, like, yeah, even plot holes like that doesn't bother me so much because of that movie. But again, off on a tangent. I think I emerged from this, or actually. No. We should talk about the audience we saw it with, because we saw it with the correct audience. We saw Sin City with the correct audience.
Yeah.
People that didn't mind being loud in the theater, because this is a movie you can't watch while being quiet.
People who didn't mind having alcohol in the theater.
True. Like, should we go into detail who these people are, or I'll let you decide on that?
I'm not going to go into. I'm not going to say names.
Just people you know. People you know.
People I know. People who I kind of see every week.
They were at this early...
They were at this place. I'm not going to say your names. But shame on you. Shame on you. I hope you see this. Because I'm sorry. But, I was fine at the part where the guy brought in the iced tea bucket of rum and Coke.
It was a jug. It was an Arizona jug.
Arizona jug of rum and Coke.
Yeah, it was pretty full.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, sure, yeah, whatever.
It was a pretty full jug, and by the end of the movie, it was completely...
It was like, God, I was like, was this movie that bad that you needed booze? It was great.
No, I don't think they were drinking because it was bad.
I know. I get the feeling that they do this every movie they go to.
I would, or at least every midnight.
Like,
show.
you can hear beer bottles being kicked around now and then on the floor.
Yeah, we were right behind them.
I looked over and they're freaking beer bottles in there. It was like the rum and Coke thing, just at least you were trying to disguise it, but beer bottles, really? Those better have been root beers. But you know what? From the rum and Coke thing jug over there, I'm guessing they weren't. Shame on you. When I take candy into the theater, when I smuggle candy and Coke, Diet Coke into the theater, that's bad for the theater because they're not making as much money. When you guys bring alcohol into the theater, that can get a place shut down.
Yeah, because they're not. They don't hold a liquor license.
Yeah, that's dumb.
And this is not technically this is not a privately held establishment, so they can be busted for being drunk in public. if they get a little too out of hand. But so it was
Yeah.
like was it like 7 or 8 people right in front of us. Like I don't know them. I don't know them, but he knows them, and they were pretty much on the same page with us throughout the movie. Like whenever something ridiculously violent happens that just bends the laws of reality, like a goddamn video game, they were just up there with us, and I was just calling out multi-kill and
Oh God, yes, the Japanese girl.
Deadly Little Miho,
She
played
does-
by another different actress, of course.
I was wondering what they were going to do with this scene because she falls through the sunroof on the house.
She falls on top of a sunroof, and she's like,
She falls through it. It crashes through. And the guys, look down in there. Classic. Put this guy right over here. Where did she hit the gun? And I'm like, okay, well, she did fall all the way at least 15 feet or so, 10 feet maybe. So what is she gonna do? Is she's gonna like pop up and grab them or something? But no, she rockets up doing a helicopter katana attack.
slices off all their heads in one.
Just slices off all their head. And then he's like this guy who is always, don't bring attention to me in the theater.
Like everyone else,
Grump cat over here is like, multi kill, brr,
like I was
monster kill,
ultra combo. No,
it's not okay to do that unless it's you.
It's not okay to do that depending on the audience. Like in
okay, I didn't know there was a rule and there was a pamphlet for this. You got to give me the pamphlet so I can get things right.
Like everyone in the audience was in on they were coming to this movie
Under the Skin.
Under the Skin.
The whole audience was in on that.
But they didn't make themselves known.
Yes, they did.
After the movie, they did.
Yeah. I didn't make myself known until after the movie either, man. You still got a problem with that.
I did have a problem with that because it was just... I had a problem with that.
Bear the weight. Bear it.
There's a difference between me going like ultra kill at a ridiculous moment in the movie filled with a bunch of people who are basically like us, we're seeing this movie for a good time, and you after the movie just like, did anyone like this movie?
I didn't say that.
No.
That was the woman in front of me. That's what I'm talking about.
That was like
the little old lady in front of us said that. She got up and she put her hands and was like, anybody like this movie at all?
And you...
I didn't reply.
Be that as it may.
No, I started a slow clap at the end.
Yeah, that was... You started the slow clap.
And people laughed. They liked it. You didn't know it.
I didn't like that.
People clapped after this movie, by the way. He didn't.
I didn't clap.
Mr. Multi-Kill over here didn't clap for the movie.
I didn't clap for the movie because...
You see, when is it okay to make this...
because clapping for a movie is, one, dumb.
Oh, here he goes.
Clapping for a movie is dumb, first and foremost. Like, what are you clapping for? The movie can't hear you. You think movies can hear...
Maybe you're clapping for the people who are watching, who all...
Like, what did they do? They didn't have anything to do with this movie.
Yeah.
It's like, why you... Like, good job, audience, watching a movie. I know that's really fucking difficult, considering how short our
You got, like, a whole rule book for this, you see?
I don't pretend for a single moment...
I don't pretend for a single moment that you make this stuff up as you go.
I don't pretend for a single moment that the rules that I live by, as far as movie going is concerned, has any bearing whatsoever on any kind of reality. Alright? It's just how I feel at that particular moment.
Hey.
What?
Walter Schmitty, asshole. I got you.
Best
I'm not done.
No,
There will be another. You have not seen the end of my wrath.
Embarrass me in front of the internet. You will pay. By God, you will pay.
Oh, like I need help doing that.
Back to the movie. I was telling him like
it's all satire.
As I was telling Gabe as I was leaving the theater, it's like this was probably the best movie I saw all summer.
That's where we disagree. I didn't disagree that it was a great movie.
What do you think was a better movie this summer then?
Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy. I think I liked it more. Mainly because I've been so hard up for a good comedy. It's been tough. It's been a tough year for comedy. It's been a tough 5 years for comedy. Decade. It's been a tough decade for comedy, to be honest. And
Speaking of tough year for comedy.
speaking of a tough year for comedy, yeah.
Guess what's got a sequel? Hot Tub Time Machine.
It actually looks kind of funny.
Well, I will admit it looks funnier because at least they kind of gone off the rest.
They're actually doing, they're going all out with it.
Yeah, and I correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there was 4 people who in Hot Tub Time Machine in the first one. I saw it, but I don't remember I don't remember much of any jokes in Hot Tub Time Machine. But there was 4 people, but only 3 returned. It was like Rob Corddry, I forgot the Robinson. What's his name? Robinson, I think.
I do not know their names. Sorry.
No. I'm
not good with names.
No, but at least they took the concept of a hot tub time machine and actually looks like they're going to be doing things with it. I think that was...
Why? They're going to affect history. They're going to, fight for the revolution. They're going to, And then, of course, they look at Chris Robinson? No, it wasn't Chris Robinson. They look at I hate to call him the black guy, but... Oh, you were trying very hard.
Yeah.
We made an effort.
Yeah.
We made an effort.
They tell the black guys, yeah, you're probably not going to be welcome here, but you got to help us. Yeah, want to go back to 18th century America, black man?
Yeah.
We got you some bracelets. You always said you liked cotton.
If they had come out with, this concept for the movie in the first place, I might have actually seen it.
Yeah, this is what the movie should have been in the first place, not just...
Not just we're going to go back and reminisce on nostalgic times in our life and maybe fix out a few problems that we had and it'll all turn out for the better.
No, it's just if you're going to... this is the very first comedy, I think, that...
Yeah, one of the guys becomes the father of the internet.
Yeah, Rob Corddry becomes the father of the internet.
Yeah, so they really just go all out.
Because of the black guy just steals all pop music and he sings them, which has the great benefit of he has a pretty good singing voice, but a big black guy just covering Lisa Loeb.
Yes, his choice in he has a wide choice of things he could do all the way back to the 80s.
Yeah, all the way.
I can think of so many things that I would just completely completely steal and rock them.
You would completely steal David Bowie's career.
What? Yeah, right. I'm the man who sold the world,
or at least sold out David Bowie's career.
Fuck. Oh my god. Boy George and Pete Burns are like, I started the look with the dreads, and they have to be like, fuck you both.
Fuck both
y'all.
That preview started, and I just kind of did one of these, and then halfway through the preview, when I realized I'm chuckling, I went, okay, I didn't like the first movie, but this looks like at least the preview got me laughing, which is more than any other preview comedy.
There were a few points that, but on the whole, it looks like it could be a success.
Yeah, and another fucking Amityville horror. Movie coming out.
Another horror movie. God, the only thing doing worse than comedy right now is horror.
Pretty much.
And what was the last good horror? House in the Woods is probably the...
Cabin in the Woods?
I'm sorry, Cabin in the Woods is probably the best thing that came out. The last horror movie. It wasn't even a horror movie, really.
Yeah, I was about to say, I wouldn't even classify that as a horror movie.
That wasn't even a horror movie. That was a good comedy.
That was just... I don't know. I had problems with Cabin in the Woods. I felt it was kind of smug. In that terrible Joss Whedon sort of way.
Oh, wait, that was Joss Whedon. Was that Joss Whedon?
Yeah, that was Joss Whedon.
That was Joss Whedon.
But it was smug in that sort of too cool for the room kind of way, like the way Scream was. Not nearly as bad as Scream.
Was it kind of cynical?
Not so much cynical, but kind of proud of themselves for all the twists and turns that they could make in the movie. It's just yeah, I see what you did there, movies. Yeah, that's they're creating a simulation of the typical horror elements in movies. Okay. Yeah. They're being transparent cutouts of archetypical characters of horror movies for a reason. Yes, you're very good, Joss Whedon. Yes,
I understand.
I don't want to put it. I don't want to put Joss Whedon down for taking an idea and doing something more with it, but
The delivery you felt was a little bit
self-serving.
Yes.
It's Joss Whedon. I feel could be a very self-serving
a
director.
bit indulgent,
and,
slightly indulgent.
and writing especially.
Yeah.
He's always had a like. I defy Joss Whedon. I defy Joss Whedon to write a script where he makes no pop cultural references. He can't do it.
Well, at least he does them all right. He does them well. As opposed to going, just defaulting to the Batman thing.
Or like defaulting to like I've always said that referential humor is a crutch. It can be funny, but if you rely on it too much, your legs are going to atrophy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my biggest problem with Marvel movies right now is that the humor is becoming too Whedon-esque.
Right. I see. I really see your point there.
And this is why I think this is better than why Sin City's better than Guardians of the Galaxy for me as a movie-going experience. I mean, as a movie, yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy is a better movie, but as a movie-going experience, I had more fun with Sin City because it was having fun with the material, and it was having fun with the audience. I mean, like, it did stupid shit, but it was doing it all in the concept of fun. There wasn't a single moment where it was dull. There wasn't a single moment where you were just like, oh, that was the 17th decapitation. When are we going to see our 18th? It was just, you were engaged. Wholly.
And there was definitely an art to the way they...
Yeah,
same as the first movie. Maybe more so in this one.
Yeah, I would say that there was more.
The composition is pretty good.
The direction was much more artful this time around, and you could just make the argument just as easily that the movie is just as indulgent as Whedon was, but I would say that visually indulgent is much more palatable than narratively indulgent. Like, Whedon would never make a movie that looked like Sin City. He doesn't have that kind of director's eye. He directs TV. He's a very utilitarian director. But this is comparing apples to oranges, really. The visually speaking, the movie, okay, first off, it's in black and white. How can it not look different? But the way that it uses shot composition and the way it would use the contrasting of black and white, I always felt was...
That's actually one of my favorite styles.
The black and white?
Contrast. Lots of contrast. That's how I like, my comics and stuff. Not to the point of Frank Miller where it's,
just black and white?
Just black and white and then a big swath of red. But for an example, I'm a big fan of Joseph Michael Linsner.
I'm not too familiar with this.
Cry for Dawn.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. But I've always been into that kind of art. So, and when I really do appreciate that, the stark colors.
And I always felt that Frank Miller, as an artist, is, well, he draws in a very caricaturic way, like always with the big pouty lips and strands of hair. He doesn't really draw hair in the same way, like long waving hair. He always has like curls and wisps of hair.
It's visually appealing
in
a different way.
And he has a very minimalist approach to art, and when he's actually putting work into art, unlike what he's done recently, but like if you go back to Dark Knight, if you look at what was it, Dark Knight Returns? No, it wasn't Dark Knight Returns. That was the awful sequel.
Rises.
No, that was the movie. But
you're talking about Batman Forever?
No, not even talking about a movie. I'm talking about, like, in 1986, he released a Batman comic. It was
a comic.
Yeah, it was a comic. Yeah.
Okay.
That's how we got his.
So I was gonna say, if you're looking for visually appealing Batman movies, just look no further than Forever and Robin.
Yeah, because say what you will about Joel Schumacher Batman films, those look like comic book movies.
Yes. And not in a terrible way, in a good way.
Yeah, like, I can't even remember the last time, I promise you, go back to the Joel Schumacher Batman films. Yeah. They are not nearly as bad as you have been led to believe.
That is suggesting a comic kind of attire to a movie, as opposed to Hulk with the multi-paneling.
Ang Lee's Hulk.
Telling you...
Ang Lee's Hulk,
This is a comic.
See all these multi-panels?
This is a comic. The Hulk was a comic before it was a movie, and then it was a TV show. Now it's
A movie.
then there was a movie because they made a movie for the TV show, and now it's a motion picture comic.
He still hasn't. He really.
I got a headache over that. That was really, really aggravating for me. Trying to, I'm terrible at multitasking. I'm terrible at paying attention, as it is. When I have to pay attention to those multi-panel things, it's just. You know what? Honestly, I'll give it this though. There was nothing interesting going on in any of the panels, so I don't know why I cared.
I think I gave
The
that.
freaking Hulk traveling across the freaking canyons.
I think I'll give the movie a kind of a break. Well, not really a break. I think I give that movie too much credit.
You do.
Or give that.
I
movie,
will totally agree with you on that.
like I can't bring myself to hate that movie as much as everyone else does. I find that movie more fascinating in a bad way.
I'll give it a break. I rewatched the beginning of it again about 6 months ago, I guess.
That and Nick
And actually, the beginning is quite good.
Yeah, the beginning's quite good.
That's the thing, though. That's kind of becoming a thing where the beginning of a movie, of a comic-based movie, is good, and then it degrades.
Yeah, but though Nick Nolte is amazing in that movie, he acted the shit.
Yeah, he did.
like his sit down scene with Eric Bana, where he's just going manic in front of him. To you, to all of them, and Eric Bana just screams. Ah! My favorite part of that is just like Nick Nolte just sits back in his chair after Eric Bana screams for no reason, and he just kind of. Yeah! If that scene went on like 10 seconds longer, Nick Nolte would have just looked at him and said, "That's what you sound like, Yeah. But again, talking about Frank Miller here because he's sort of become an internet joke.
Yeah.
Especially my colleagues have ragged on him, and not unduly. I mean, the source material is, well, it's Frank Miller. It's 1 degree away from insanity most times. But I think Robert Rodriguez can isolate the fun parts of his work and completely avoid all the sometimes racist, a lot of times racist actually, a lot of times racist, a lot of times misogynist, and a lot of times just plain insanity, and just focus on the fun. Like the major Achilles heel of Frank Miller is that oftentimes he just takes himself way too seriously. Pretty much his comic work now, he takes everything way too seriously, even though when he's dealing with really ridiculous things. Like Catwoman, one time he had a Catwoman on roller skates. I think that was Dark Knight Returns. Like Catwoman on roller skates, that's...
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd think of HQ doing that, not Catwoman.
Yeah. So he was on roller skates, and you're thinking, well, that's kind of stupid. And he makes all these really weird design choices, and he sticks with them, but then he sandwiches that between really heavy-handed moments of political discourse, but he doesn't really even say anything about politics or anything at all, really. So it just becomes this mishmash of what Frank really likes in art and stories, but not exactly how to structure it properly. And then comes Robert Rodriguez that was able to clear out all the clutter and just get back to what Frank was good at, and that was being gloriously fun.
And to case in point, Ava plays Ava.
Well, the character was called Ava, and then there's this actress named Ava Green
who is perfect for the role, I guess.
So,
why not?
Why not? Exactly.
I have to imagine. I was like, well, aren't we full of ourselves a little bit there?
Ava plays Ava, a beautiful woman that can have any man she ever wants.
Yeah, but if you watch the movie, you understand that actually would just get her more in character.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that kind of mentality that's good. That's good. But case in point, there's this the scene that I really like is where they're really playing up the dramatic lighting on her as she's naked. Far more than she is not. Is she ever not? No, there is times where she is clothed.
Yeah, but Ava's just
Lets it all hang out.
Lets it all hang out, really.
And there's this scene where she's going up to the diving board for the pool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's doing
naked.
her classy
Naked woman.
Yeah,
look.
she's doing her classy naked woman thing, and she does a jump, and then suddenly they cut her doing a somersault before she into the pool.
Yeah.
And completely ruins the moment as far as
Elegance.
elegance. And that's what this movie does. As soon as it starts to get a little bit too serious, it throws something like that at you.
Or like when Nancy is like, you know, shooting arrows and guards. One time, like one guard she shoots, it's like he glitches out and he just flies up in the air 20 feet and does a bunch of crazy
There's
spins.
some funny ragdoll physics stuff going on in this movie.
It falls down to the ground, and it's like the movie knows when it hits a patch where it feels like it's going up its own ass, and then it reminds the viewers, like, don't worry, we're not Frank Miller here. Robert Rodriguez is here to put in a.
It's like they have a guy appointed to this, you know, where he just kind of goes into each scene. He's like, here,
right here.
That's where you need it.
That's like, this will be so.
Evergreen will do a few somersaults in the air as she's diving elegantly into the pool.
Or oh god, you know who? You know who was a surprise in this movie? Christopher Lloyd.
Oh yeah, he was the wild card.
Like, he didn't have a long scene, but like he was there, and like he was there basically to take Joseph Gordon-Levitt's tend to his wounds, and he's great because he just talks like Christopher Lloyd.
These hands. Or a surgeon's hands.
Our surgeon's hands. And
after I've gotten a little bit of
heroin.
Prep. Yeah.
He shoots himself full of heroin so he goes as steady as a rock.
It's much more steady. There's still...
Actually, a few days ago, I was walking outside to meet my mom to go to the gym. That's what we do. And I was out of my driveway, and I looked to my left, and something caught my eye, and there was like a purse. There was a purse just kind of in the bushes, and I'm thinking, like, why is there a purse in the bushes? And like, did somebody drop this? And it's just
gotta do your good deed.
And I grab the purse, and I try to see, like, whose is it? And it turns out it was some junkie left his heroin purse near my driveway.
Really?
Yes, there was like a Pabst Blue Ribbon can that had like the top cut off so he could cook it. And there was like hypodermic needles and little like cotton balls to.
Oh wow!
I know. Like,
was there any goods in it?
Like, I didn't like when I opened it, and I didn't. As soon as I figured it out, I didn't try to rummage through it because one, those are freaking hypodermic needles in there.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Like.
You don't want to do that.
No, like, I didn't want to see like there was actual heroin in there. I don't think there wouldn't be. So I just kind of zipped it back up, and I just threw it in my dumpster. Because I didn't know what to do. Like
you've come into a bit of money lately, haven't you?
Yeah, I sold like $10 worth of heroin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some heroin buttons I found in a Prada bag out in the bushes. No, I don't want your 4-tooth blowjob for it. I want $10. It's like I just threw it I threw it back in the purse, and I threw it in the dumpster because one, like. Who would
not going to bother returning that to someone? Yeah, your bad habit. I got it for you.
It's like, yeah, you shouldn't be doing this, but I'm going to return it back to you.
Yeah.
No. And you can't call the cops because you're in possession of heroin.
Yeah, right?
So I was like, whoopsies, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, I can at least throw it away, though, so that some kid doesn't...
So some dumpster diver just finds it like, oh, howdy, boy, lordy, I found me a treasure trove. Oh, I love my heroin. I take it every day and night, even in the afternoon.
This is my favorite trash can. It's my lucky trash can.
You know, it'll be just my luck that someone does find that heroin purse. They find it. Now they think that if they go back to that dumpster, they'll find more heroin.
Exactly.
So he tells all his junkie friends, like, I found a dumpster full of heroin. Come, follow me. Follow me.
Over the rainbow. There is a dumpster over the rainbow.
Full of smack.
Abby just tapped it right here 3 times.
Tap it, and then a magic genie will come out.
Well, what do exactly what you did the last time? We're never gonna make it out of here. It's there.
It's there.
Oh God, what are we doing?
I'll tell you what.
Did we have time to get to the synopsis?
No, I don't think there really.
Do we need to?
No, I don't think there needs to be a synopsis.
Yeah.
It's a Sin City movie.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of people kill each other in actual grimdark.
Yeah, this synopsis is nobody is left unsoiled by this city.
Yep.
Not even Powers Booth.
Yeah. By the way, Powers Booth, you got to think if you're gonna have a kid, why wouldn't you name him Powers?
Right. Austin's middle name is yeah.
It's like
My first name is Powers.
my middle name is Danger.
Powers Danger.
My last name's Blevin.
Blevin.
Powers Danger Blevin. But do I want you all to go see this movie? Yes. It is the most fun you'll have at the theaters. I had more fun with this than Guardians. I've said it before. Like I can't even remember the last time I had this much fun in the theater. Maybe since Jackass 3.
Certainly does have more fan service in it. It's not fan service though. It's
just like
Sin City.
Listen, it's like even if you're a straight woman, Ava Green will make you feel things you never thought. Like, actually, I don't know. Like, I can't pretend I have any kind of insight to the female mind, but I would think that the majority of the female response to that was like, I hate her.
Yeah.
Still see it anyway because it is a lot of fun. It really is. Just a lot of fun. And Robert Rodriguez, as long as you keep making these movies, you can make all the Spy Kids movies as you want. You're right. It's like, I'll forgive you for every Spy Kids movie you fart out. Just keep making Sin City movies.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Not as much as he did. Well,
maybe a little bit less.
Yeah, I'm not going to say not as much, but it wasn't my favorite of them. I wouldn't call it my favorite of the summer.
Actually, if you ask me that, I would have to really think on it because.
No, you wouldn't. You already told me it was. You already said. It was
I said favorite movie of the summer, but
of the summer, yeah.
Of the summer, but like all year. No, I wouldn't. Like
I said of the summer.
Oh, of the summer.
Yeah,
but like all year.
No, I didn't say all year.
But I thought you did. But
no, I said summer.
But all year, I'd have to think about that. I can't come up with a coherent answer. I gotta let that movie stew in my head a little.
Yeah, but I can definitely agree with you on the fact that there's not a dull moment. Not a dull moment. So on that grounds, it's the best. It's definitely the best for not leaving you bored.
Mm-hmm.
There are points in Guardians that are downtime,
But
yeah,
this is, I think,
definitely a movie, definitely a theater movie.
It's see this movie. Bottom line, see this movie. Till next time.